Good morning, Vancouver. Beautiful Monday. I rarely see a shot of downtown Vancouver that doesn't look great. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Welcome to Breakfast Television. Whether you play for 20 minutes, 20 hours, or 20 days straight, it's safe to say video games have played a pivotal role with helping people feel entertained and connected during all of this. But have video games been helpful in helping us with our mental health as well? Joining us to discuss is digital media professor Dr. David Chandross. Dr. David, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Wonderful to be here.
Generally, because this is fascinating to me, how have people been using video games during this pandemic? Because I find it's not a one-size-fits-all tool right now.
Absolutely. There's two short answers to this. Number one, there was a game called World of Warcraft Classic, which was released about a year and a half ago. And this was a very difficult version of a multiplayer online role-playing game where there's 10 million people around the world playing 24 hours a day. So what happened in the hard stages of the pandemic is people began to play World of Warcraft all day in lockdown, and you're able to communicate over a server called Discord real time. So you can talk about your life, show pictures of your kids. It's like a living Facebook reality. It's a streaming Facebook. And it allows you to do something with teams of up to 40 people on a common objective or goal, which is much more interesting than sharing a photo of a latte. Secondly, my graduate student, Shengen Gao, did some fabulous work last year in which he showed that in China, video games are used differently. There's a game they play JTX, in which you meet a Sifu. And that's a real-life person in the game who acts like a martial arts master would in the real world. And you know what? When your real life went to, you know what? The Sifu was there for you as well. So in other words, relationships in video games can be very deep and meaningful.
So, David, when I was gaming a bit more a few years ago, I found you were talking to people inside the game. But what I'm learning by some of your work is you don't have to be in the same video game anymore to be chatting and communicating with people, period. You can be on a completely separate video game, but there's apps that help you still communicate with all your friends. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It's called Discord. It's free. In about 5 minutes, you learn how to work it, and you join and search for Discord servers. It's an entire streaming community online.
So the ability to just keep in contact with your friends during, especially for kids, has been huge. But I know you have some rather a personal experience with being online with people and actually needing their help in the moment. Please tell us what happened to you.
Absolutely. Number one, during the pandemic, when our university was closed for maybe a year or two, and you were in the same house every day, I began to feel a little stir crazy. They call it cabin fever up here. So I think the point is that it saved my mental health right away. And I began to see more people playing it. But there's hard empirical data on this. Is there some interesting data that showed that people that play violent video games where you shoot a lot, we would think that might be a bad thing. And they track them for 10 years and they look at their empathy scores. And actually what happened, to their surprise in the study, was people were better to each other because they would stop in the game and say, hey, I keep killing you all the time. You should be hiding behind this barrel or whatever. So altruistic relationships were fostered. There's some great work we've done with seniors as well. But in another regard, I was once had an attack of what I thought was appendicitis. I was really frightened. It turned out to be food poisoning, but not your typical type. There was someone playing World of Warcraft with me on maybe 10 years ago, and it was 3 a.m. All my friends were asleep. I had no one to talk to. They said, I'll stay up with you and be here with you through it all. That's profound.
So you were actually ill, and because people online friends of yours were with you and kind of walk you through it, that helped you through that experience. That's wild.
It goes further than that. And at the risk of being too transparent, but I think we should in this area. During the early COVID stages, I was subject for the first time in my life to panic attacks. I didn't know what they were. I just thought I couldn't breathe anymore and my breathing would stop and that I have COVID and I can't get air. It was a panic attack, which my doctor explained later. I was able to get online during those and talk to someone and say, help, I'm feeling this, in World of Warcraft. They said, yes, I have them all the time too. No problem. Let's just hang out and talk together and play together. And it calmed. So it's pretty powerful stuff. And I think 75% of the calls to Telehealth Ontario are mental health issues right now. People are going nuts, literally, in a way that we're just struggling to cope. So this is a tremendous tool.
Dr. Chandross, thank you very much. You're doing a lot of great work here. Where can people find more information quickly, please?
The digital Masters of Digital Media program at Ryerson University and the Faculty of Communication and Design. We have amazing stuff going on this and many other areas. Thank you.
Doctor, thank you for your time. Have a great day. All right, coming up, actress Diana Agron joins us to talk about the new coming-of-age dark comedy, Shiva Baby. That's next. Devo's got details. You're watching BP.